Hello everybody, what's going on? This is Word here, and it's been a few days, but I'm back. I'm back with another cast. I'm sorry it's been a last busy couple of days. I went away for a couple days with my girlfriend for her birthday, and among work and other things, just didn't have time to get my StarCraft on too much, and I feel very sad about that. So the first thing I did when I got home and all my stuff was out of the way was do this cast. So we're going to be here on Daybreak, here in the upper right. The barcode player, the red Protoss, he is Minigun. And his opponent in the bottom left, the blue Zerg, playing for Team Evil Genius's raid call, he is Suppy. And it looks like this is a ladder game, of course. Minigun, a ladder champion. If you watch his stream at all, just the fact that he streams quite a bit, you know he's playing that ladder, you know he's grinding it out. Very good player. Of course, recently rejoined Root, not playing a lot of events or tournaments anymore, as you may have seen the announcement a little while back, but still playing, still laddering, still up there in the GM ranks, and still a damn good Protoss with a lot. We can learn a lot from him, so this should be a good match. This is Wings of Liberty. You know, I'm just casting both right now. When I can find a good HOTS replay, I'll cast that. When I get a good Wings of Liberty replay, I'll cast that until we switch over entirely to Heart of the Swarm. And then, of course, at that point, it'll be Heart of the Swarm all day, all the time. Now, we're going to be here on Daybreak, of course. PVZ, Minigun, going to be scouting around, seeing what his opponent is up to. Suppy, just laying down pretty normal pool here, 14 or 15 pool. Nothing too crazy happening right now. Minigun's a pretty macro player. He's not too aggressive. He will sometimes do the sentry drop. I believe he likes to do that when you go right for the Robo, and you get a Warp Prism first, and then you kind of load 2 or 3 sentries into there. Drop into your opponent's main. Force field is ramp. Pretty annoying, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw that from Minigun. Can be a lot of fun. Suppy I actually haven't seen play a lot, so I don't know too much about his play style. Just going to admit it right here. I have seen him play before, but I guess nothing particularly stood out at that moment, or maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention. These things do happen. I do get distracted. I could have gotten a very interesting text message, possibly, but we're going to learn a little bit about him here on Daybreak. Now we see Minigun going for his Nexus first, then Forge, then Pylon, and of course, if you're Forge fast expanding, you're not sure exactly how you want to do it, this is exactly how you want to do it. Nexus on 17, Forge immediately after, then a Pylon immediately after that. This will allow you to not have to cut probes, and you can get your gateway up, still pretty reasonably timed. It used to be that people went for the gateway and then for the Pylon, but you had to cut probes for quite a while for that, and it was not particularly a good idea. And of course, the better a player you are, the more you realize how important macro is, and the more you want to maximize your chrono boost and probe production efficiency. Now, Suppy being super active with this Zerg, Ling making sure that no probe goes unheated. And there he is right there. And he'll just be taking his third. These guys are chatting so hard. What is the APM there? A Minigun actually kind of known for having characteristically low APM for, you know, a professional player, essentially. And I say essentially, you know, he doesn't go to a lot of LAN events anymore, or any, I guess, and he didn't go to a lot previously, but he's still very, very damn good. And he coaches, so I'm going to consider him a professional player. That's, of course, Suppy there, hovering around the 180. Pretty good. These guys are really, really typing a lot. Now, he's got the Cyber Core up. What are our gas timings here? Pretty normal here for Mini. Mini is not averse to the Immortal Sentry all-in. He says himself that he's relatively bad at it, though. He doesn't do it, I guess, to his own liking. So we'll see how he decides to perform here on Daybreak. Daybreak, a decent map for it, decent. Now, Suppy's third hatch is up, and he's just playing macro style, no gas down for him yet. And maybe he knows Minigun is not particularly an aggressive Protoss. Could be metagaming a little bit, I believe they were talking about that. Now, Minigun is going for +1, and he's getting a Zealot out here. We'll have to see how he spends his chrono boost. That's what you want to know as a caster, as a spectator, and especially as a Zerg opponent. So this is why Suppy is up here with the Zergling, and he sees that the gate is being chrono boosted, so it's likely that Minigun is going to be putting pressure onto the Zealot and the Stalker. We see the Stalker here as is on the way, and Suppy seeing that can react appropriately. He can either put down a Spine Crawler right here immediately, or preemptively take out a couple of Zerglings, or he can just try to deal with it with his Queen. However, this initial Zealot Stalker push is designed to clear these towers, pick off any Overlords that happen to be wandering around the map, and then get into the third base and try to focus down either a few drones or the Queen. And of course, you can force your opponent to make Zerglings as well. So Suppy, I mean, he knows it's going to be coming, and he does not want to fall into the trap. Right now, we do have Minigun out here with a fast third Nexus over in his third base there. And this initial Stalker and Zealot coming up to clear the map. We have the Zealot here. The Stalker looks like he's just clearing away the Zerglings, making sure that Suppy can't see his Nexus. However, Suppy is in here with the Overlord, and it will not be a secret behind this. Minigun is laying down a Robo. So he's going to be looking for that Immortal Sentry composition to back this up. Now, we have a relatively early Roach Warren from Suppy laid down there at 6:30. I guess, you know, it's not fast enough to be crazy, but we do have a few Zerglings out here, 9 Zerglings, and we'll see how he responds to this fast 30. He's getting a lair out. Is he going to try to out-macro his opponent? We have a third gas going down here as well. Zergling speed pretty far from being done, still 60 seconds left on it, so he's not going to be able to go for the quickest timing attack, but we are going to have 24 Zerglings popping out, and Suppy will be charging in once that speed is finished. Now, 32 Zerglings in production. He does not want to let the Protoss get away with this fast third, and this is a very appropriate response because you do not want the Protoss to get ahead in that macro game. Now, does Minigun see this Overlord? No. So he actually doesn't know that Suppy knows. So this attack, the speed is going to be finishing relatively soon. This attack will be coming pretty quickly. Minigun has a good wall here, but he's going to need sentries if he wants to stave off these Lings, and he's only got 1 sentry here. Actually, not even making a single unit. Warp Gate did just complete. He's got 1, 2, 6 gates total, it looks like. And he will be able to do some warping, so this is definitely holdable, but Suppy is going to be coming in here with a lot of Zerglings. He has even 16 more in production, and here come the Flood of Lings, actually going to bypass the third immediately, and is going to send half, go for a run by. Minigun does warp in, back in the third. Defense going pretty well. Suppy's going to try to break in here, though. He wants to force Minigun's units out of position, and then he can go for those good surrounds. Now, Minigun, of course, does have this sentry. He can lay down a force field. These buildings are going to go down. He's going to lose the Forge, which is very important here. He's going to lose the +1 armor upgrade, and he's not able to wall that up, so Suppy's going to come in here with a lot of Zerglings, and they're getting right on top of those sentries. The Cybernetics Core is going to go down, so no more sentry warpings. There's some pretty good force fields from Minigun, but he does not have enough units to deal with these Speedlings. There aren't any tearing up the mineral line. Is he actually going to be able to clean this up with his Zealot Warp? And it looks like he is. Very good force fields from Minigun. And you know what? He really did not lose that much. He lost 0 probes there. He lost the Forge and the Cyber. It slows him down a little bit. +1 armor, I guess, not really the most important upgrade, and he's probably not going for a timing with it, so it's not too huge. But of course, we see that Suppy there, he lost a lot of potential. He spent quite a few larvae on Zerglings. He had like 50 Zerglings out there. Of course, that's, you know, 25 drones that could have been. It puts him behind a little bit in the economic situation, but his 4th base is up. Minigun fully aware of this, or on the way, I should say. He does have an Infestation Pit down, Pathogen Glands on the way as well. And now here come the Infestors. However, they were made a little bit preemptively. They're not timed out with that Pathogen Glands, so... Oh, no, never mind, they are. I'm thinking the other way around. I'm thinking Ghosts, which take 30 seconds to make, I think, so you have to time it with the end of the Mobius Reactor. I don't know why, but no. Solid timing there from Suppy. Solid timing on the Infestors. And as Suppy said there on the screen, he was trying to punish that fast third, but it did not quite work out. You really want to kill workers with that sort of thing, and Suppy wasn't able to do it. So Minigun at a pretty comfortable 70 probes. He's getting a second Robo out. He's actually getting a Warp Prism out here as well. Few Zerglings are going to get detected by the small army of Minigun. And now Minigun is starting his +2 weapons, his charge, and his +1 armor, of course, that was taken out a little bit earlier. And it looks like he wants to be a little bit aggressive. But he sees the Infestors, and that pretty much is going to put us, what's the word I'm looking for? Put a cork in his aggression, really. If Champagne is his aggression, then we have put the cork back in it. Okay, I'm done with that. But basically, you don't want to deal with those Infestors without Colossi with range, and that's what Minigun is going to be going for now. Colossus on the way. He's got the Warp Prism out. No speed or anything. Hasn't loaded anything yet, but it's likely going to be for Zealot Warpins to go pick off a 5th base, try to pick off some tech. He's got observers in very good spots around the map, so he can see exactly where the army is going to be coming from. And now he sees that this huge Zergling Infestor force is coming in. This is a very good timing by Suppy, whose Hive and Spire are on the way also. Ling Infestor, pre-Colossus or pre-Storm, is very, very strong, especially if the Protoss does not split their army properly. The Fungal's very deadly. Minigun has a full-on pylon wall off. It almost looks like a custom game in Brood War. So many pylons built all in a row. Now, we're going to see Zealot Warp in here just as the hatchery finishes. This is totally going to pull Suppy back. Beautiful timing here from Minigun. Actually, all the Infestors are going to get left behind. Does Minigun see it? Can he take advantage of it? No, he doesn't, but he is moving out here. And now he's going to see all those Infestors. He really wants to get on top of that. The Zealots have taken out the hatchery, and with these +1 attack, they're going to be pretty good against these Zerglings. Actually, the upgrade is relatively even, so not too big of a deal. We do have the range on the way for the Colossi here as well. Zealots have been cleaned up. Where is that Warp Prism? Right over here. Is Suppy aware of it? No, he cannot quite see that. So that can continue to be an annoyance. Now, the Colossus range is not quite done, about halfway finished there. And we do have a 4th base just getting started here for Minigun. So Suppy's on 4 bases, Minigun on 3. That's a comfortable position for the Protoss and for the Zerg as well. But of course, Suppy losing this hatchery, that was not something he wanted to deal with. Looks like he is going to be planning a bunch of spines here in preparation for future warpins. But of course, you got to worry about your main 2. How is that Greater Spire placement? It's good. It's on the left side of the base, so it's far away from potential warpins. But a lot of people have started to plant their Greater Spires in between structures to reduce Zealot surface area, and that's a very good idea. That definitely never hurts if you want to protect your tech and make sure it doesn't get picked off by a warpin. Now, Minigun, his range is about to finish, so this is a pretty solid timing for him to move out. Does he have a scout on the hive timing? No, he doesn't. That's some very important information. He actually doesn't even see the spire at all. So if you want to move out with that pre-hive timing, those pre-broodlord timings, you of course have to be aware of when they're coming. So if Minigun does move out relatively soon, he could be met with broodlords, and combination of broodlords and fungals usually picks off your army before you're able to retreat. Not a position you want to be in. So unless Minigun pushes now with these colossi, he's going to have to go into Mothership. We actually do see a fleet beacon on the way. He is very prepared to go into that late game tech. We'll see how it works out for him. Both guys doing pretty well right now. If you take a look at the units lost tab, we see that Suppy just a little bit behind, but he's starting to make the most cost-efficient army in the game once that Greater Spire finishes. He's got tons of supply and tons of banks, so actually all of these Corruptors can be made into Broodlords, and there we go, 10 of them. Ton of Lings trying to run by, but Minigun is on top of that, of course, with this Tower Vision. He is safe to put his army a bit to the south. We have a Warp Prism up north that has warped in some Zealots, and he's moving in to the Spine Crawlers. But even though the Spine Crawlers don't actually prevent anything, or I'm sorry, the Spine Crawlers don't actually kill a lot of the Zealots, what they do is buy time for the Zerglings to get there. Now, Minigun is dumping off this Immortal, and this is because it's relatively useless supply later in the game. You'll see Protoss players get rid of Immortals and Sentries as they want to free up supply for the more valuable units. However, there's no reason not to use this Immortal to the best of your ability. Be super annoying with it. Use your ability to multitask. A ton more Zealots coming in here while Suppy's army is running all the way to the south. This is good multitasking here from Minigun, and it looks like this hatchery should go down. These Zealots are at +2. We have +3 on the way. Mothership on the way as well. The hatchery does go down. All these Infestors, man, his Infestors are total loners. He's trying to catch this Warp Prism, but he's not quite sure where it is. The Warp Prism with the Immortal now has a Colossus in it. And here comes the Warp Prism. So Suppy is going to be aware of where that is located. The army for Minigun looking relatively small. Actually producing a 3rd Warp Prism. 1, 2, 3. No, a 4th Warp Prism. He has 3 on the map right now. He's going all over the place with these Zealots, making sure that Suppy is denied that 5th base, making his 4-base economy all the more powerful. Meanwhile, a Warp Prism going past the main into the natural. A 4th Warp Prism is soon to pop out. We have more and more Zealot Warpins. Looks like this one here is just right on the front lines, trying to distract Suppy, because I think he's going to be going for the Greater Spire over here if he can get a Warp, and he does have enough supply. How many Warp Gates does he have? At least 5, and he's going to be going right for the Greater Spire. Is he going to be able to get it, though? Where is the army of Suppy? Looks like it's all the way up here in the north, and this is what you do. You take advantage of those slow Broodlords. How many transfuses do we have in this Queen? Only the 1. Is it going to be enough to buy time? This Queen also has a transfuse. Is he going to land it on the Greater Spire? He needs to transfuse it. No, it does go down. That is a huge technological blow. The +1 there did not finish for Suppy. And that is not going to be very pretty for him. It looks like another huge Zealot Warpin going over to the 3rd base. The hatchery is getting focused down. There is not enough DPS for you to take down these Zealots. A good fungal by Suppy is actually going to prevent a couple of them from reaching the hatchery, but it is not going to be enough. They are going to be taken out by the Zerglings. The Zerglings, do they have adrenal glands? Yes, they do, and they are very, very dangerous little critters. Now, it might be in Suppy's best interest, of course, to try to go and directly engage the army. Another hatchery is going to go down to the Zealot Warpin of Minigun, but of course that leaves everything of his vulnerable if he tries to go attack. So it's one of those tough decisions you have to make. Would it be better for me to just go for it? Of course, the longer he waits, the stronger Minigun is going to get. Right now, we do have the Mothership out. Where did she go? She is big, fat, and slow, so it shouldn't be hard to find her. Oh, there we go. Look for the cloak stuff. You'll find the Mothership close by. So there she is. She will soon have enough energy for a Vortex, hovering at about 78 right now. And more Zealot Warpins for Minigun. He's got a pretty big mineral bank, and he is not afraid to use it. Actually, a shield upgrade's on the way here as well, as 3-3 is done. Storm on the way. He's going to have a very powerful army. It's going to be very hard to deal with. Storm, so good for getting into those good positions. Obviously, the best thing that can happen for Suppy is he plants his Broodlords right over something juicy like this where they cannot be hit. But if you can storm everything, it stops the Corruptors from hitting the Colossi. It just works. I'm just going to say that right there. But it looks like Minigun is pushing in right now, taking out some of these Spine Crawlers. Storm not yet complete, though. Another Zealot Warp in here at the north and in the south, continuing to slice through these Zerglings, only at 2-2, while Minigun is at 3-3. Suppy's 3-3 on the way here as well, but not quite finished. Minigun pulling back. He's got 5 Colossi, warping in another 6 Zealots. What is the Warp Prism count right now? Only 2. Minigun, he was at 4, I think possibly 5 at one point during this, transfusing that Spore Spine Crawler, and it looks like the Infested Terrans are going to be enough to take that out. Meanwhile, he's pushing in the front, peeling off more and more of the Spine Crawlers, getting in there with the Templar, feedbacking one of those Infestors. That's something you very much want to do. But he does not want to get caught out. This is a dangerous corridor. If you don't get out through here and get spread out, you can get fungled. That's a tough position to be in. Now another Zealot warping at the north is going to pick this off. The Warp Prism moving down here. A ton of drones have been taken out with this Storm Drop, which regrettably I was not able to catch in time. Minigun, man, he is tasking, multitasking. He's APM up at 146. Now there are Templar in this Warp Prism, however, it doesn't get taken down, but killing that many drones pretty much worth it in this game. 30 workers have been killed by Minigun. He is moving up with 5 Colossi. He's got a lot of Templar. Where is the Mothership, though? Not with the army. Maybe does not want to get it knurled. He's going to focus down this hatchery. So many hatcheries have been killed here by Minigun. The Mothership just kind of hanging out right here. Maybe he wants to recall the army in case a fungal does happen to get on there. That would be a good way to save it. We have these 3-1-3 Zealots coming here to focus yet another hatchery, and they, not quite going to be able to get it. I'm not sure. The drone displacement, very good here from Suppy, but yeah, that is going to go down. The Broodlord's a little bit too slow, and as soon as he pulls that army back, Minigun moves in here, actually storms these Overlords, does what damage however he can. The Overlord's trying to get away from the storm. We have 11 more Infestors on the way here for Suppy, but he has really been pushed into a corner. He actually only has 2 hatcheries left. 2 bases left, 4 hatcheries total, of course, with these macro hatches, and Minigun asking him to surrender because it has been absolutely crazy aggression from him so far. Now, of course, Suppy is maxed out, and look at the Infestor count here. He actually has 24 Infestors beneath his army of about, what is it here, 8 plus 5. That is 13 Broodlords, ladies and gentlemen. That is a very tough army to beat, and, Suppy at this point, he knows he's lost too many hatcheries, he's lost too much tech, too much time. He has to go for the direct engagement. Even if Minigun warps in 10 Zealots here, he's not going to lose anything that's going to be game-ending at this point. So it's going to have to come down to the direct engagement. Minigun has 2 Vortexes. He's got tons of Storm and feedbacks, so when Suppy walks down this corridor, is it going to be enough? There's the feedbacks going down on the Infestor. Tons of them getting taken out, and he's going to be forced to pull back now. And, obviously he's in a prime position to be Vortexed. Suppy's going to be going for it. All very good nature. The Broodlord's going to be coming in, but Minigun is moving up with this Mothership, and there the huge Vortex goes down. Are the Archons going to be going in? Yeah, Suppy's just like, alright, forget it. I'm just going to throw it all in there. It's been too much for me, and Suppy is going to throw down the GG. Are we going to get to see the Archon Toilet? No, that's the end of the replay, guys. So it looks like that is going to be it for this game between Minigun and Suppy. Very, very cool game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. I am at CWordcast, of course, as part of Clarity Gaming. You can follow me here on YouTube as well. I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you at the next cast. Word up.